All right, the first inductee tonight is in the category of culture, awarded to an individual who has achieved prominence in the surfing community regionally, nationally, or internationally. East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame is proud to induct Florida's Tom Warnke. Let me tell you a little bit about it. He'll try to tell you his whole life story, but we're going to pull the hook on him if he does. Tom was 8 years old in 1956 when he began mat surfing after his family moved to Boynton Beach, Florida. Warnke is a lifelong surfer, but more than anything, he's an organizer. His life's devotion is to surfing, the sport, and the lifestyle. Tom has seemingly found time for impacting the lives of thousands of East Coast surfers. From contest organizer to 40 years as an ESA District Director. If any of you know what it takes to run an ESA event, much less to be a District Director, that is a most thankless job, extremely difficult, and this guy did 40 years of it. Nobody else. That was the director of the Palm Beach County Surfing History Project. That's what his current work is. To his time in the development of the first Florida Surfrider Foundation Chapter. Warnke's influence on the East Coast surfing runs very, very deep. He gave us this list. It was 5 pages. I tried to whittle it down. So we're gonna, we'll miss some of his points, but I think he's got more than enough to cover. In 1966, he founded Boynton Beach's first surfing organization, the Cripple Creek Surf Club. In '67, Warnke started writing about surfing as a columnist for the Delray Beach News Journal, the Boynton Beach Star, and the Palm Beach Post. Through his writings, he has shared the feeling, the history, and the culture of surfing to the outside world. He's a prolific writer and promoter of the sport. It's unbelievable. '67 to this time, Tom has been an integral part of the ESA since '67. He was recruited to the East Coast by East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame member David Reese, starting out as a judge and event announcer for Palm Beach County Surfing Association. This naturally transitioned to a full commitment to the ESA, where he joined the ESA Board of Directors in 1974 and is still in that position today. That's giving to the East Coast. 1984, he started 18 years of working for the Sunclass brand Costa Del Mar as marketing manager, company spokesman, and VP of sales. Unfortunately, we can't get free sunglasses from him anymore. Darn it. In 1996, Tom initiated development of the first Surfrider Foundation chapter in Florida, a chapter that's still in existence today. This early development led to the coastal-wide Surfrider Foundation engagement with the East Coast surfing community. Today, Florida has 12 Surfrider chapters, more than any state except California. Started with Tom. Currently, Tom is the executive director of the Palm Beach County Surfing History Project and manages the Surfing Florida Museum's collection and exhibits. He is committed to preserving the history, culture, memorabilia, and future of East Coast surfing, mainly focusing on the state of Florida. Tom, I can't say anything more. You can add to it, but please spare us.
Wow. Thank you, Hunter and Gary, and especially all the inductees in previous years. I've been here in the audience for so many of those, and it's quite an honor to be up here, believe me. And I want Hunter to know I promise to finish by 8:30. This is the culture category. I'm not up here because of my surfing prowess. I did win at Hatteras about 7 years ago in the old farts age group. I I was chasing a title. I won a couple Southeast Regional Championships in the old guys age group, and finally I beat the guys at Hatteras that had been beating me for 10 years, so that was gratifying, even though it was, not too big. At 75 years of age, I feel very, very young this evening. This is rejuvenating. And Cecil Lear, David Reese, Fred Salmon, Dick Catree, all thought that 50 years of volunteer work must have qualified me. So I thank all of them for encouraging my nomination. Volunteers that joined me, I made a list of names, and it's like so many dozen names, and Hunter said it's more about the stories. So the volunteers that joined me are what made my dreams happen. And the most important person, my wife, Mary. And my parents, who put me in the ocean in 1956. Those rafts took all the skin off. But we got started riding waves, and then in '64 I got my first regular surfboard. Back then it was the Palm Beach County Surfing Association, before ESA. Then ESA with David Reese recruiting me to become a judge, as Hunter was saying, showing me how to run a surfing contest in 1967 with a hand stamp with 6 lines on it for each heat. By the way, I told Hunter earlier, I've probably said 5-minute warning 10,000 times, and now I've got a 5-minute warning. 3.5. That's 1 page, and I've only got 5. So I had 20 co-directors while I was the ESA District Director. At first, it was Sebastian to Miami, and then I got Kirk Cottrell to take Dade and Broward, and some other people to take North Central Florida, South Central Florida. Then it became Palm Beach County like it was when I was in high school. So David showed me how to run contests in '67, and then dozens of volunteers helped me get Surfrider Foundation started in Florida. The Palm Beach County chapter was that first chapter in Florida. And that was to protect our ocean playground for the clean water, beach access, a lot of different reasons why Surfrider is still relevant today. So I love the ocean for all the peak experiences out there. I'm sure you do too. Like the sunrise that I experienced at Domes in Puerto Rico when David Reese and Chummer McReynolds and I were paddling out to meet a double overhead glassy set. And the water is so clear, you can see way back into the face of a wave there like an aquarium. So we're paddling out to meet a big glassy set, and we saw 2 dolphins way deep in the wave in front of us, just booking it to catch the wave. These 2 dolphins jumped out of the face of the wave in front of us. It was a mother and a baby dolphin. And they surfed past us, and we just sat there and watched the rest of the set go by. That's an example of a peak experience in the ocean. I have to thank Kelly Slater for another great experience and for his inspiration. When he was an ESA Menehune, I had called his name many times for heats, and I had just become vice president at Costa Del Mar Sunglasses. I was their first salesman. We sponsored him and the ESA All-Star team for 3 years for $30,000. And so the next year at the U.S. Championships, it was at Sebastian. Dick Catree hired me as the announcer, and Kelly made the boys' final. So I'm announcing the final. I got my tripod on the stage with my telephoto lens set up, and I told the 200 people on the beach, if you want a surfing lesson and you're in the juniors or the men's division, come on down and watch the boys' final. So I was out on a limb there, but I was confident. The level of talent in that boys' final included Californians, East Coasters, And with 2 minutes to go, it was anybody's heat to win. They all surfed great, and then Kelly hit a straight up backside off the top to win it. And the whole heat was walking back across the sandbar at low tide, and the crowd gave him a standing ovation. And that was another peak experience for me. And I got the shot of him doing the off the top. What? So anyway, I got the maneuver. Fast forward to 2008, and we started the Surfing Florida Museum with Fred Salmon, Corky Roach, Bill Keaton, and 20 other directors, all volunteers. Our goal is to find a permanent home for the museum. We're in booth 282. My last comment here is to let you know what motivates me. One is back in the 60s, when surfing was completely banned in many places in South Florida, our legal challenge resulted in the Florida Supreme Court ruling that the bans on surfing were unconstitutional. That ban inspired me to work hard to protect surfing as legitimate and to pose the question to you all tonight: how important is the ocean to you? Here's my advice. The people most likely to protect the ocean are those who are in direct contact with it. They don't live 10 miles from the ocean. Remember, most of our oxygen is produced by the ocean. So take newborns to the ocean's edge as soon as they are happy on a day with small, warm waves. Sit or wade in the water with them in that magic. When they return to the ocean, it'll be like seeing an old friend remembering the magic they first saw and heard and smelled and maybe touched and tasted. They will want to protect it. If you do that with an infant, you can be an ambassador for the ocean and for the planet. Stay stoked.